Now we're going to fill out the lab sheet for our second Pendulums lab. So this is for level 3, and this is the Pendulums lab where we change the length of the pendulum. So once again, we'll start with putting your name on your paper. Now the purpose of this video is for if you missed our missed class, because we're going to do this in class. So if you missed class, this video will help you out. Also, if you just want to work ahead and fill this out at home ahead of time, this video will help you out. Now our problem, we have to write a question. So it'll be similar to what we had last time. And remember, our question has to include the independent variable and the dependent variable. So this is what we'll write. How will changing the length affect the number of swings a pendulum makes in 15 seconds? Question mark. Don't forget the question mark. Everybody forgets the question mark. And that's our question, and that includes the independent variable, changing the length of the pendulum, and the dependent variable, the number of swings, is the dependent variable. So those are the two variables, and both of them are present in that question. And a question mark, don't forget. All right, for gathering information, this is where we put in some quantitative observations and qualitative observations. So we'll use some of the same that we used last time. So a quantitative observation is that a 38 centimeter pendulum made 14 swings in 15 seconds. A lot of good quantitative information in there. It's 38 centimeters, 14 swings, 15 seconds. All those numbers, that makes it quantitative. Another quantitative is that the pendulum, let's see, I know, with 5 pennies, this was our last experiment, with 5 pennies, the pendulum still made 14 swings. Now I know yours might be a little bit different. Maybe yours made 15 swings and you had 4 pennies, but it seemed to be that no matter what how many pennies we added, we were still getting about 14 swings. All right, qualitative observations were things like the pennies fell off, or the pendulum hit the desk. Some of those observations, those would be qualitative observations. All right, now our hypothesis. I made a mistake on my last video, so let me try to correct that. The if part is the independent variable, so we need to say if we increase the length of the pendulum. So you wouldn't want to say if we change the length of the pendulum, because change could mean increase, it could mean decrease, it could be change the material, it could be a lot of things. So we want to be specific if we increase the length of the pendulum. And now the then part, this is where we make our prediction. Then the pendulum will swing less times. Now that's my prediction. You might predict that the pendulum swings more times. Or you might predict that the pendulum still swings about the same amount as it always has. It's your paper, it's your prediction, it's your experiment. So don't take my word for it. I'm just predicting that. But now, because part, we have to make our inference, make our explanation. So I'm going to say it will swing less times because it has a longer distance to travel for each swing. Longer pendulum means it travels longer distance. That's what I think. And again, we've got our independent variable, our dependent variable, and then a prediction, or then an explanation, an inference. Materials will pretty much have the same materials we did last time. We'll have our pendulum. We don't really need the extra pennies anymore because we're just going to test with 1 penny. So we'll need a meter stick and we'll need a stopwatch. Simple materials. Our independent variable is going to be the length of the pendulum. And we'll test real short ones, real long ones, and everything in between. Our dependent variable is going to remain the number of swings because that's what we're counting. We always pay attention to what we're counting. That's our dependent variable. And variables that will not change, we'll still give it no push. We'll still be timing for 15 seconds. We'll still count 1 swing. Is there and back. And we only use 1 penny now because we only changed 1 variable at a time. Last time we changed the number of pennies. This time we're changing the length of the pendulum. So we go back to 1 penny. So we're only changing 1 variable at a time. Okay, so go ahead and use this video to fill in your lab sheet, and we'll be able to carry out the experiment right away then.